Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PlayStation, and bear in mind, for those of you new to the channel, it is my favourite game franchise of all time. Like, I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Regular viewers know.
It's
all I talk about. You'll look at any video that I'm in, and there'll be a Final Fantasy VII something somewhere
it's
in
the only
it.
game he's ever played.
It's the game I've played the most by far. Absolute deep love for it. So obviously, day one, I'm like, yeah, PS5. I'm buying that game. I'm playing that, and I'm smashing through it. I had such a miserable experience with it that it left me thoroughly disappointed. I loved the story. I loved what the developers had done, but the limitations of the PS5 hardware were upsettingly bad.
Yeah.
It looked like it was running at like 540p. If you ran it in graphics mode, it was unplayable.
Yeah.
Choppy, like frame stuff. It was awful.
Have you been talking to Mark Cerny there?
Choppy.
Yeah.
We know what likes choppy. Well, good one, Mark Cerny. You made a whole console for it.
That's its unique selling feature.
Yeah.
Choppy.
So you had to play it in performance mode, which I'm pretty sure it was 540. It must have been. It stretched out to your 4K TV. It was awful.
Yeah, nice.
Or, like, just such a miserable experience. Like playing some of the later releases on Switch. Like bad when you put it on your TV. Now you compare that to the experience that even people with like not like super bleeding edge PC rigs, like mid-range, the recommended settings.
Yeah. Well, minimum requirement's only like a 2060.
Right.
So it's not even like demanding.
This was the thing that started to annoy me. When I was seeing the firstly the preview footage of it, of like minimum settings, and I know they dress things up a little bit.
Yeah. They cherry pick shots.
Cherry pick shots. And it was like, this is it running on a 2060. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? That's better than it on PS5 in graphics mode.
Yeah.
It looks better and it seems to be running smoother. So that was the first kind of annoyance. And then actually seeing people running it. And it's not a game that isn't without its problems.
Yeah.
Like from the Unreal Engine that's built in it, it does have like inherent flaws.
Yes.
But the night and day difference between like what your experience is, and you're running it on your Ally X through your 4070 eGPU?
Yep.
4070 Super, is it?
No.
TI?
Nope.
Just 4070?
Yep. Base 4070. So like the pants one, the cheap one, the rubbish one.
It's honestly, it's like the difference of trying to make an analogy for like console games. When GTA 5 came out on PS3, and then if you were to play it now on PS5,
yes,
like the visual fidelity difference and the performance
huge.
difference is that kind of bigger step. It's like the PS6 version, and you coined a beautiful phrase. It is the definitive way to play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
On PC.
Yeah.
Now, again, you say that sentence a few years back. It doesn't even make sense.
No.
The definitive way to play Final Fantasy VII is on PC.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's mad.
It's a console game.
Yes.
It was developed for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Definitive way to play it is on a PC rig.
Because on PlayStation, it's like potato mode.
Awful.
And it looks terrible.
Yeah.
And on PC, you've still got DualSense, full DualSense support.
Full DualSense upsetting.
And then I'm running this at 4K 60 with DLSS, which is like nailed on. Whereas on even PS5 Pro, you're using Pissa, which has its flaws.
Massive flaws.
You know, so yeah, playing on the PC, like 4K 60, I'm running at like 66% DRS with DLSS on. So it's going somewhere between 1440p and 4K, probably around that 1800p mark. Uncapped, I'm getting like 80 FPS at 4K, but I've capped it personally at 60. So I'm playing at 4K 60 locked, and it's fantastic.
Stunning.
And I'm not even using an expensive graphics card.
No.
You know, like it's mad just because of the upscaling techniques.
I would be as bold as to argue that it looks as good on the Ally X as it does on your Ally X handheld.
Yes.
As the PS5 does look on your TV.
Yeah.
Like if you were to, like your experience of it, obviously you're running a much lower resolution on the Ally X, but the screen's tiny. It's a 7-inch screen on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
compared to you're playing on your 40, 50-inch TV at home
Yes.
on the PS5, I would argue they look
I
and perform the same.
was going to say, I'd say it looks better on the Ally.
That's ridiculous.
Purely because on the PlayStation, you've got no choice of
you can do like
settings.
resolution sharpening and stuff on the Ally,
exactly.
can't you?
So I did a video
yeah.
of the game running and my best settings, right, for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on the handheld, not running through my eGPU.
Yeah.
So this is just purely from the handheld. I went through all the settings and I've told you like what I would use, even though I'm not playing this handheld, I'm playing it on the TV, but I tested it and blah, blah, blah. When I was looking at PS5 footage on performance mode, you have no choice of anything. It's just performance mode.
On. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Vaseline smear. There's no sharpening. There's nothing you can do.
No.
And I was running the game at 720p with 50% resolution up to that much drop. So what is that? I don't know, less than 540p?
Yeah.
Yeah, 480p, something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe even 360p.
Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah. So running at 360p.
That's a big dynamic jump.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
But whilst it looked pants, like I can choose all the settings and I can hide it. I can mask it.
Yeah.
And backing out and putting RIS, the AMZ resolution image sharpening on to maximum, which is kind of a no-no with sharpening. But you put it on 100%, go back to the game, looks good.
For a handheld?
Sharp.
7-inch?
Sharp.
Yeah.
It's not potato like smear.
Yeah.
It is sharp.
And I think obviously that was the biggest criticism by far with the PS5 version, especially the base PS5 version, was the performance mode. It was just a Vaseline smear, which is
It's horrible.
Which is a consequence of a very small resolution being outputted to a very large display.
With no option of tweaking it, which
No,
I understand why, because it's aimed at console gamers. You want one or two options, but there should be like some flexibility.
Something.
There should be like advanced mode if you press start or something, and then have a drop down so you can tailor it to look a bit
That
better.
actually makes a lot of sense. Like you have the on-off option.
Yes.
But actually advanced mode.
Yes.
And it recommended you need to know what the hell you're doing when you're tweaking with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But yeah, like resolution sharpening and stuff, which wouldn't be like inbuilt sharpening wouldn't be outlandish to put on a PS5.
No, it's there already. It's just locked out.
Yeah. So I find it deeply, as a console gamer, I find it deeply frustrating that the definitive way to play my favorite game is not on the platform it was designed for or sold at £70 that I paid for it at launch.
Yeah.
How much did you pay for the PC launch?
My uncle, he said he got it for £33.
Bought it for you?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
CD key?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's really good of him.
Yeah.
But even not a CD keys sale, how much is it?
I think it was pre-order price.
It wasn't full. It wasn't a full £70 game.
No, it was 50 quid, I think. £50, I think. And it was pre-ordered price discounted at 45. Hopefully you've enjoyed that clip from our main podcast.
If you didn't enjoy it, you should click on the video between our faces to watch the full one to make sure you didn't enjoy it.
Yes.